Hi everyone, it's Claire again, and today's video, or the first video of today, is on exploiting texts for writing. Okay, so we've done exploiting text for grammar, and now if you're doing this in your region with your teachers, exploiting text for writing, then this is the video for you. So our first stage then is to tell our teachers that this is the topic of our session. We're going to talk about exploiting texts. So again, you start this session with this slide and you give your teachers time to answer these questions in pairs. Okay. Then you need to tell your teachers that you're going to demonstrate a lesson using or exploiting a reading text for writing skills. And then we need to show them this one here. You're going to say, okay, we're going to exploit the text for a reading lesson. Again, we ask the teachers to, one, participate in the lesson as students would, and two, again, this is really important. This is our reflective task. They take note of the stages and what happens in each stage and why. So number one, again, is practice. This is how to do it. And number two is the theory behind the practice. This is the why we do it. So these two questions are super important to ask your teachers before you start your demonstration lesson. Once you know they know what to do, you can say, okay, everybody, I'm going to start my lesson now. And we go back to our context stage. This one here. So put your teachers into pairs and give them this question. Give them some time to discuss and get some ideas, a few ideas from them. Next is our pre-teach vocabulary stage. So here we need to clarify the meaning, form, and phonology of these three words. Okay, so again, I would say, what's this? Plastic bottle, good. Can we use this again? Can we use this bottle again for something? They say yes. You say, okay, what do we call something, or how do we describe something that we can use again? And we try and elicit the word reusable. Listen, reusable, reusable. How many syllables? Reusable. 4. Which one is strong? Good. It's this one. And then what is this? An adjective? A noun? It's an adjective. Okay, and you move on to do that with the water cycle and tap. Next, you do your gist or skim reading. So this, the teachers do this alone. They have 1 minute to answer this question. So they are skimming the text for general information, the overall meaning of the text. Then pair check, then quickly get the answer and move on. Now, in our language lesson, we would move to this reading, but in our writing lesson, we move to this reading. So they look at the text again and answer these questions. How does the writer introduce the topic of the writing and why? What's the last sentence? Why? And what language is used to persuade or give advice to the reader? So this is called your text analysis stage, your model text analysis stage. And this is where the teachers go into the text and analyze it for writing purposes. Okay, they do this alone, pair check, and then your feedback. And your feedback is really important here. So when we say what language is used, you would need to probably highlight for them some of the language. It's really important to. You should highlight. Don't teach it, just highlight. So next, we put our teachers into pairs. And they do this here. This is our brainstorming stage, our pre-writing stage. So it gives them time to think about what they're going to write. Get a little bit of feedback. Write it on the board so it helps others in the room as well. Next is their actual writing. So now in pairs, they write a paragraph to persuade people to save water at home. Here I say write your text and put it in the chat, but for them they just write their text. They don't have a chat because they're not on WhatsApp. They write their text together. After they have finished their paragraph or nearly finished their paragraph, they then give their writing to another pair. Once the teachers have a new writing in their hands, they can then do some peer correction by answering these questions. So I would have somebody else's writing now and I answer these questions to give them feedback. It's called peer correction. This then would be the end of the writing lesson. And remember, at the beginning, our reflective task to our teachers was, what are the stages and stage aims? So the first stage was the context, and here is the stage aim. Then pre-teach vocabulary with the stage aim. Just reading. Okay, then we move to, we analyze the model text. There's the pre-writing stage, the writing, then peer correction. And then you can tell the teachers that the students would then go back to their writing and make it better. And finally, you would need to give them feedback. In the real world, this could be marking or some error correction on the board. In large classes, it's better to do error correction on the board. And that is the end of your session. Your teachers might have lots of questions about this, about the theory behind the practice, because this is totally new for them. So give them or give yourself time in your session plan to answer their questions. So you need to know this as well. You need to understand the theory behind what we're doing. Okay, that would be the end of your session, your 90-minute session. And I hope this video has helped.